What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Nick, and today we're about to talk about how parents discipline their kids when they're talking back. What sparked this is I've seen videos of like a teacher and a student going at it recently. And then you got kids in real life that disrespect their parents and their parents disrespect their kids. And I didn't realize that there was an actual guide on how to discipline your kids. You know what I'm saying? Black people, you know what I'm saying, go in your room and there it is, like, you know what I'm saying? But apparently there's a guide or whatever to it. So I ran across this lady. She apparently got the tools for everything, how to discipline your kids. So we gonna watch this together, and we gonna see what she got to say. You know what I'm saying? I already know the funny thing about this is I already know probably if she, okay, we'll watch it. We'll watch it, but I just don't know, man.
Cardinal rule number 2 for me is never
we on number 2?
talk to a person that is
so she's gonna
talking
skip
back
number 1?
to me. I'm Nicolene Peck, and I have had experience with some of the most difficult children out there, and I am here to tell you how to handle it when they're talking back without losing your cool.
Okay.
I have one of those children who is a little litigator. There are so many parents that come up to me and say, my child better be a lawyer because they sure do know how to debate. And I think to myself,
Debate with who?
I'm not sure if they should be debating with...
Okay. They should not be debating. What are we debating about? You're a kid. This doesn't have to discipline a teenager. We got a little different thing on our hands. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta go. Get out of my house. We're talking about a kid. He's just a kid.
With you necessarily, unless they do it with a calm face, voice, and body, and with a skill called disagreeing appropriately. There are 5 steps to disciplining a child who talks back to you. And the first step happens before they ever even talk back to you. This step is called planning for success. If you're going to effectively correct your children for talking,
bro, it's given too much. It's given too much. It does not require. I'm just commenting on this. Nothing against this lady here. I'm sure she's a very lovely lady, makes great cherry pies. But what I'm saying is it shouldn't take a planning and all this stuff to discipline your kid. You should just kind of know how to do it. But given you do got people out here who just don't really know, they don't get it. They, your kid just touch a pack of, now laters and it shouldn't really be like that. So I think maybe this guy probably is good for some people, but come on, if it's a kid, a kid should not be talking back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like a real parent kind of knows how to handle the situations, but I guess this is for the people who are not real parents or need help, disciplining their kids. So I guess I'll get it. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. All right, Tracy.
Back, you've got to prepare them for what is to come. So what skill do they need? They need disagreeing appropriately. This book here teaches the skill disagreeing appropriately. It's called Page Takes the Stage. The skill for disagreeing appropriately goes like this. You look at the person, you keep a calm face, voice, and body. You say that you understand the other person's point of view. Then you share your point of view. You listen.
Ain't no understanding when I'm an adult. If you're a kid, you gonna understand when I say go in your room, you go in your room. When I say get out that refrigerator, you got to get it. There's no back and forth. You're a kid. If you're in my home, you will listen to what I'm saying. Ain't nobody's kid gonna talk back to me.
Listen to what they have to say. Then you say okay.
But I hear you, Nicola. What's her name, Nicola?
When might a person need to use this skill? For sure with parents, but what about teachers, neighbors, grandparents,
I'm with you,
siblings, friends? We all use the skill disagreeing appropriately. What if they don't use the skill properly? What are you going to do then? Well, again, you have to pre-teach them for exactly how you will handle the situation if they choose not to use the skill that you've already taught them. So in our family, we do an effective correction. The effective correction is essentially a description of what went wrong, a rationale, a description of what went right, and then I tell them what they earned, Then we practice doing things the right way, doing role play practice.
Okay.
Then they get the opportunity to earn an extra chore because work is the antidote for a sick character. Then they check back from that and drop the subject. They know that's what they have to do and what we will do if disagreeing appropriate.
You clearly ain't met my little cousins. You ain't just about to tell them what to do. They gonna keep going. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know. What's her name? Miss Nicola?
Doesn't happen. So what step to the skill disagree appropriately might I correct? Well, if they start talking to me in a way like this, even if they're trying to say they understand me and don't, then I'll know they don't have a calm face, voice, and body.
Okay.
So that's what I would tell them needs to change.
Okay.
If
I'm with you.
they say, can I disagree appropriately? And I say, yes. And then they say, Mom,
let's
I
just
understand
be
that you don't want me to.
realistic here, Miss Nicola. They not gonna sit here and say, "Can I please disagree?" They not. They don't ask you that. They just do it. Come on, this is the real world. This is the real world. Nobody's asking you if I can disagree with you. Not from where I'm from. Not over here in the West Side. Like they don't do that. No kids don't do that over here. They don't like something. They just gonna flat out tell you. I mean, realistically, that's just not what's really happening. That's why I say keep it real in your videos. Nothing against you, but I'm just saying, like, bro.
To go outside and play after dinner, but I told Johnny that I would come. And then I say, I know that you want to go, sweetie, but I'm still going to have to give you a no answer, and you're going to need to accept that, which, by the way, is another one of these skills right here. This book, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches how to accept a no answer.
Okay.
So that's going to be helpful for them, but I'll just say, so you'll need to accept a no answer. At that point, if he says...
So we're talking about like kids, right? Like this is, maybe I just don't understand. I won't understand it because maybe it's just me and I'm an adult and ain't no kid about to come at me like that without me literally throwing their toys in the trash or something. But you not about to sit here and come at me crazy like that. That's just me though. I mean, I do understand what she's doing though, because there is parents out there who actually don't know how to discipline their kid. I mean, you look at some of these parents, black or white, you know what I'm saying? More often white, but you know what I'm saying? And they don't understand how to discipline. It's just very much Johnny, stop. I told you to sit here. And you sit here. And it's like, Johnny, what did I say? And it's like, and then Johnny would have got, it's a. Oh, you ain't supposed to hit you.
But Mom, I told him I would go out. Then what is he not doing? He is not dropping the subject. So I would need to do a correction because he is not dropping the subject.
Okay.
And when we do our practices, we would make sure we really hit home the importance and benefit of dropping the subject.
I just ain't got time.
Step number 2 for correcting a child that talks back is still something you do before they even start talking back.
Okay.
It's another type of pre-teach. It's called prep.
Okay.
It's a pre-teach that you do right in the minute. So I've already taught them how to disagree
this
appropriately and how to accept a no answer, how to follow an instruction, how to accept consequences. They know all of these great skill sets. So in the moment that they're going to need to practice using one of these skill sets, I prep them. So I say, I'm going to give you a no answer.
Not her sounding like that they a holiday turkey or something. She said, I'm just going to prep them. Like I said, just in the real world, especially when you deal with some. And by the way, my little cousins, they are adorable, amazing kids. I love them to death. But if you met some of my, ain't no prepping that you can do with them. They're going to do what they want, and then when we're serious, they will know. When we're serious, they will know. You know what I mean? Like, but again, this is for the people who don't know, you know, how to discipline a kid. So, all right.
Remember how to accept a no answer? And then they say, yes. Then I say, okay, tell me the steps. Or I say, that's great. Now just remember to look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, and then drop the subject. Here's your no answer. No, you can't go out and play with Johnny right now. Okay?
All right.
At that point, you have prepped their brain to do the right skill.
Okay.
Then they'll say, okay, you praise them.
I'm
That's
with
how
you.
it works. It seems weird to tell a person exactly what you're going to do right before you do it, but these types of preps are magic for the brain. Because if I've taught them the skill accepting a no answer, and then I say, okay, remember how to accept a no answer. Here comes a no answer. This is how you accept it. No, their brain immediately goes, oh yeah, okay, I need to look at the person, keep a calm face, voice and body, say okay, and drop the subject. Okay, boom. And then they just do it.
And
It's
what if this
amazing.
don't
That's
work?
step number 2.
What if this don't work? You know what I mean? Like, how do you prep for that part? Like, can we get a guide on that? How do you prep for if this goes into flames? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I mean, I understand. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hear what you're saying, but I'm just trying to figure out how does that work if they're not listening or if they're not putting this in their brains. You know what I'm saying? When they reach that 3 and 4 year old bracket, it gets kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no kids, but I've dealt with a bunch of kids before, and it just don't necessarily go as smooth as you think it may go. But let's.
We haven't even got to the moment where they might start talking back yet. Step
Right.
number 3. We've already kind of touched on it, but it's correct them if they don't disagree appropriately. The target skill they need if they want to have an opinion and talk back to you, in order to do it appropriately, they need to use the skill disagreeing appropriately. If they don't use that skill, but they just start talking back, you are not going to talk back to them. In fact, what you're probably going
So if they just now talking back, we talking around 3 years old, 4, because that's when usually it kicks in. That's when they start kind of hitting you back. So we are talking around the 3 and 4 year old range. So yeah, that won't fly.
to do is just start a correction. So you'll say to them, just now I gave you a no answer. And you looked at me, but you did not keep a calm face, voice, and body. We've already done this. I explained just a little bit earlier what a correction sounds like. The important thing is you correct with a calm voice tone and you describe instead of react. That's what makes a really good correction. Tell them what they did, what they should have done, why it was a bad idea, what they
See, growing up, the belt was usually what described everything to us. Okay. And I know people saying, you shouldn't beat your kids and you shouldn't do this. You don't beat your kids. You can give them a little slap on the hand or whatever, to let them know. I mean, let me tell you something. The whoopings that I got growing up definitely made me who I am today, because I definitely don't do nothing crazy or outrageous. I don't even cuss around my mama still. So, and I'm 34 years old. So I'm just saying, like,
should do in the future, maybe why that's a good idea, and then have them practice it the right way
but
and accept their
they're
consequence.
not doing this.
Their hearts should be turned toward you during this process.
God,
When you
their
correct
hearts.
your children, it should be a bonding moment, a moment that feels okay, not like they did something bad. In fact, when I answer these questions online all the time, all the questions come across as, what do I do when my child is bad? But you know what? The children aren't bad. They just make a choice here and there. And we need to be okay with a wrong choice.
No, Miss Nikolai. If they knock over your PlayStation 5, then what you gonna do? Okay? That's life in prison. You don't do nothing like that. So when you say kids ain't bad, they can get there. They can get there. But I'm just saying kids are kids, though. You know what I'm saying? You can discipline them, tell them to go in the room. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't abuse your kid to the point where you get arrested. Don't do nothing like that, in all seriousness. But I'm just saying you could discipline your kids in a manner where they understand don't do something again. But yeah, you clearly ain't had a PlayStation 5 or 4, you know what I'm saying, big flat screen TV, and none of that stuff broke for you to say, okay, but I'm just saying.
A bad choice, we need to not take it personal so that it's safe for them to correct it and move on. If people start taking it personally, they hold on to the choice even tighter. Step 4,
I'll take it
praise
personal
them when they do it
if
correctly.
you break my
So
stuff.
if your child takes the time to disengage his emotional part of the brain and engage his logical processing, that prefrontal cortex, that's a huge move. That's a big action and a great choice.
Yeah.
At that moment, he will have communicated calmly, disagreed appropriately with you. Praise him. If a person is going to learn
I agree with that.
self-governance,
I agree with that. I mean, you know, we all do that with kids when you say, "Can you throw this away in the trash?" and they do it, like, and you're like, "Good, thank you, that was sweet." You know what I'm saying? Or they pick something up for you and stuff like that. Yes, I think having given them that praise actually helps them grow. I think more. It makes them realize like, hey, I'm doing good. I'm being good. Like, so I think that's a good thing. You know that she's saying.
which is what I'm passionate about
I'm with
teaching
you.
people,
I'm with you
and
on
I know
this.
is possible for even young children to start learning. They have to learn cause and effect, which means that when they do something good, it needs to feel good.
Okay.
So show them that they've made the right choice by giving them good praise. And just like with the correction, don't just praise with emotion. Describe what went right. That's the best kind of praise they could get. Step 5, see their side and make a choice that will help them choose to disagree appropriately with you in the future. When I have a child that chooses to disagree appropriately, I really appreciate that. And I also feel like that is a huge step forward for them
Well, she must be
emotionally
mom of the year,
and with their
'cause
relationships for the future. I want them to know that that was the right choice. So if it's not anything major, if it's something just like, I want another cookie, can I play a little longer? Can I have some time to watch this game? Can I help you make the cookies? Something like that. If they say, Mom, may I disagree appropriately? I'll say, yes, you may. And they do that full disagreement. I'm going to say, yeah.
The day I hear a child actually just say, "Can I disagree appropriately?" I have never heard a child say that in my life. But you can teach your kids whatever you want to teach them. I ain't here to that's how you raise your kids. And you know, do what you want to do. But I just ain't never heard a child in my life utter those words before. Realistically, I just ain't never heard them say it. But maybe her kids do. Shout out to her kids, you know?
Yeah, you can have the last cookie. Yes, you can come to the store with me. I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to show them it works. If the disagree appropriately still works.
But what happens when they disagree appropriately and it's still no? Now, where we go? Because I said what I said. It's still no. No, you're not about to, you know, throw my PlayStation 4 or 5 out the window. No. So even if they disagree appropriately, how do we work this out? Because you that ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna fly. I'm just saying.
For them, they will use it more. Now, here's a little warning. Children that are first taught how to disagree appropriately recognize it works really quickly. Except for the oppositional defiant ones who don't really want to stop being emotional and they hate the skill. But you just have to teach them to use it anyway. Anyway, it works really well at first. And so they will disagree appropriately about everything. Literally everything. And some parents can get pretty worn out about that. But don't let yourself. Just remember that part of disagree appropriately is also sometimes to be able to accept a no answer in the end. Disagreeing appropriately is for children of any age. In fact, there are a lot of skills that children of many different ages can use. I think you'll enjoy the next video that my team has put a link to up here in the corner called
I hear you. I was listening. I heard you. Here's my thing. Disagreeing appropriately at any age is not true. You are not allowed to tell me anything at the age of 4 years old, at the age of 5 years old, at the age of 6. You can, whatever I tell you to do, you're going to do. Yes, you can say what you want to say, and I hear you, but it could still be a no or a yeah. You know what I mean? If I tell you to clean your room and you say, I would like to disagree appropriately. I'm going to say you can appropriately walk your ass in the room and clean it like I just told you to. That's how I would do it. I mean, maybe I'm just different. I ain't no father, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to read the guide a little more that she got. But I'm just saying, that's all I got for this, man. The next video.